Oh, I didn't even mean to start recording, but apparently my phone decided to. Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are discussing my August reading wrap up. Now, August was a doozy, okay, because I did not follow my TBR. I actually read a decent amount this month, so pat yourself on the back, girl. Now, I did end up reading 9 books and a novella, so pretty freaking good if I do say so myself. Okay, this month was actually a doozy, okay? So, first off, at the beginning of August, I went to the truck rodeo for 4 days, I think. We left on Thursday and came back on Sunday. So I didn't do much reading there. And then the weekend after that, my boyfriend and I had went to his family reunion on Thursday till Sunday as well. So I was on 2 separate vacations. So I didn't get to read a whole lot for those first 2 weeks. The first one I read, though, was Collided by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dirty Air series. I did complete this at the truck rodeo just because I was already 50% through it, and these are really quick and easy books. I love them. I rated this a 4-star because I do love the premise of this book. So this follows Sophie and Liam, and basically Sophie is the daughter of one of the team managers, I think, for the F1 races, and Liam is an F1 racer for the rival team that her dad works for. So basically this is a forbidden romance. The premise of the story is basically Sophie, before she came along for the F1 tour, she got drunk and she created a naughty bucket list, I guess you can say. One day Liam sees the bucket list and he's making it his mission to cross everything off of that bucket list for her, or with her, I guess. And so that's basically what this is about, and it's so cute. I love it. Next, so this book, I bought it for the truck rodeo, okay? Myself and 2 of my friends that were coming with me to the truck rodeo bought this book so we could all buddy read it at the truck rodeo. How many times am I going to say truck rodeo? My friends and I, we did start it, and then we were having too much fun, so we weren't really reading that much, okay? We were probably 5 chapters in, okay? But I did complete it on my own. This book is Until I Get You by Claire Contreras. Okay, I rated this a 2-star. I'm sorry. If you guys enjoyed this book, I'm so sorry to bash it, basically. But I wish I DNF'd it, not gonna lie, okay? It took me forever and a day. I'm not joking. I finished it on the 11th, okay? And I started it on the 2nd. Now, a book does not take me that long to read, okay? Not at all. So, to say that I did not have a good time is an understatement, okay? I was fighting for my life to try to finish this book. I honestly wished I DNF'd it, but here we are. I was reading it at the family reunion, and I was having such a hard time. I was falling asleep every time I would pick it up. The story dragged on completely, okay? I could not deal with it. It follows Layla and Lachlan, and basically it's a dark romance, second chance type of thing, and he's a hockey player as well. So this starts out where they meet at a party, and Lila is kind of closed off because of things that happened in her past and blah blah blah. She's like trying not to like get attached to anybody, but Lachlan, you know, interferes. Anyways, they get together and everything's all good until something happens. I don't know what to like. Something happens, and so she pushes him away and to protect him. And then she completely ghosts him and moves away, changes her name, and blah blah blah. Now it jumps to 3 years later, and Lachlan is still making it his mission to find Lila because she's the love of his life. But he's like, I'm gonna ruin her life because she ruined mine by leaving me. And yeah, then he finds her and makes her marry him so he can get an inheritance and whatever from his father. Blah 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 blah. They end up loving each other all over again, and all is good. And then they finally solve like the issue that happened 3 years ago. This dragged out completely. Okay, I will say I was having a very good time at the beginning of this book because I was very intrigued why Lila was so closed off and blah blah blah, and then I was intrigued at who is, you know, like ruining Lila's life other than Lachlan later on. And then I had a good time at the end because they were like actually solving who was ruining her life, and we were finding out more, and they actually took down the bad guy, and it was just like, it was entertaining. The middle, I was not having a good time because the story dragged out completely, and I feel like, I don't know, like, so Lachlan's mission was to ruin her life once he found her. That did not happen. Now, I've read a lot of dark romances where they actually try to ruin their lives. It works out. This wasn't that, okay? I don't know. And I feel like Lila didn't even ruin his life when she left him. Like, he's just being a big baby about it. Like, this MMC is literally a man-child, okay? So, I did not have a good time. I will not be continuing the series. I think there's another book out. I don't know what it's called, and I honestly don't care. Because I'm not going to be continuing it. I had a terrible time. 2 stars. Wish I DNF'd. Okay. But I'm also, like, glad I finished it because then I knew who was doing these things to Lila, like, in the past and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm glad I found out, but then at the same time, I'm like, I wasted so much time. Like, I had to... A way that I was forcing myself was listening to it on Spotify, and it was, like, oh my god. I had such a hard time. Anyways, next, Knives, Seasoning, and a Dash of Love by Katrina Kwan. I rated this a 4 stars. It was very cute, very much a good time after that one. Anyways, this is a fluffy romance, and it's about Alexander and Eden. And basically, Alexander is a chef in this fancy restaurant, and he's like the best, and blah 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 blah. Eden weasels her way through and ends up getting a spot as his sous chef, even though she has technically no experience. Like, she lied on her resume saying that she has experience in this field and blah blah blah. So she weasels her way in and blows everybody away. Anyways, she knows him from high school, but he does not recognize her until later on. Like, he gets like flashbacks, but then he's not like putting the pieces together until much later. I had a good time because, okay, I was listening to this also on Audible, so I wasn't fully paying attention, not gonna lie. I was paying attention enough to understand the story. I did enjoy it because, like, also Eden was helping Alexander with his, like, past and stuff, because Alexander started not having a good relationship with his parents not because of his parents, but because of him, because he's kind of avoiding them because of something that happened in the past. And so Eden is kind of helping him resolve those issues within himself. Guys, I'm really bad at explaining books, can you tell? Next, I love this book, okay guys? Like, yes. Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. I rated this a 5. Yay, 5-star. Oh my god. I don't know what it is about this book, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, okay? This is about Anson and Rhodes, and basically this is a small town romance. I loved it, okay? Obviously, gave it a 5 stars. It's a part of a series called Sparrow Falls. I think there's 6 books or something. They're not all out yet, but I'm definitely getting them and I'm definitely reading them all. Okay? This is obviously a small town romance, but there's also a mystery aspect to it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I've never seen that in a book before. I know that I think the Eden Brothers series is like that, where like Indigo Ridge and blah blah blah. Like, I think that one's like that as well, but I don't own it, so I've never read something with this type of premise before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The whole time I was like, what's gonna happen next? And I was like, I did not expect the twist that it twisted, okay? I did not expect it. Anyways, so basically Anson is Rhodes' brother's best friend. Technically, okay, so Rhodes and her brother are not technically siblings because Rhodes got adopted by these people that adopts like a bunch of kids and whatever. So they're basically a family that's just all like foster siblings, and I love that so much. Like, it's basically a found family type of thing, and I absolutely love it. Okay, they protect each other like they're actually siblings. Anyways, basically this story begins when Rhodes is a kid, like she's 14 or something like that. I don't remember the age, but anyway, so she's a kid and she goes to this party, and then she comes back and she's talking to her mom about it, and then she goes to bed and she's having a fight with her sister, and she's like, I'm gonna fix this in the morning, it's all gonna be okay. She goes to bed, she wakes up, and there's smoke everywhere. The house is on fire. So she's like, what the hell? She manages to escape, but her sister and her parents end up dying in the fire. So that's why she is adopted by her best friend's parents. Now she is trying to fix the house because only like a section of the house actually burnt down. The rest is fine. So she's trying to fix the house so she can end up living in there, so then she can heal her like trauma from there, from the past. So her brother Shepard has a construction company and he's working on doing that, and that's when Anson comes into play because he's on Shepard's crew and stuff, and he's also Shepard's best friend. They end up like falling in love, I guess. But they're also trying to solve a mystery because they end up finding out that the fire wasn't so much an accident as they thought it was. So they're trying to solve that. And then also Anson is an ex-FBI agent, so they're also solving another thing of who is terrorizing Anson. I'm not going to say too much about it because then I'm giving you too much, but I'm very excited to read the rest of the series, especially if it's going to be more mystery type of thing. We'll see. I don't know if it actually is, but I'm excited. This next book I read, God of Wrath by Rena Kentz. I am giving this a 4 stars. I did enjoy it. No, I'm going to do 3.5. 3.5. Okay, so this is about Jeremy and Cecily. Oh, also this is the 3rd book in the Legacy of God series. The reason why I'm giving it a 3.5 is because I feel like every single book is just repeating itself at this point. Like, I've read God of Malice and God of God of Pain. I read the first 2 books, God of Malice and God of Pain, and this one's just basically another version of that. They're just all they're all different because obviously all the characters are different. That's the only difference between them, really. They're all just the same in terms of I'm gonna chase you and you're gonna just take it, but I'm having a good time nonetheless because, like, obviously I chose it for a reason. It's a dark romance. It delivered the dark romance, like, unlike the other one. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cute because obviously Jeremy is the scarier male character in the series, I guess. Like, everyone's always scared of Jeremy. So it was kind of cute to see that, like, the scariest man has a soft heart for Cecily alone. I don't know. It was also, like, I was kind of getting, like, frustrated because a majority of the time, Jeremy would be like, yeah, I have feelings for her, but then would be like, but I don't. And it's just like, what? And then Cecily's just like, no, we're dating. And he's like, I have feelings for you, but, like, we're not dating. And it's like, what? And then he's like, but we're only sleeping with each other. Like, I don't know. And then also at the beginning, he was, like, torturing. See, this is what I mean. Like, he's trying to ruin her life, okay? He's torturing her by, because she had a crush on Landon King. And so he's torturing her in terms of being like, you can never have her and blah, blah, blah. Like, have him and blah, blah, blah. Like, he'll never love you, blah, blah, blah. And then shows her, like, him sleeping with another girl and stuff like that. And then, but then he gets upset that he upset her. He's like, oh shit, like, she's actually frozen in place. And then, like, he's like making out with her to try to get her out of her trance and whatever. But, like, it's like, what is happening? And then, like, he fully knows that she has a crush on him, and then gets mad that she said his name. That's all I really remember. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, they're all pretty much copy and paste of each other, just a little bit different. And so, like, they're all kind of jumbling in my mind right now. Next, I read The Frontrunner by Elsie Silver. I rated this a 4 stars. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, just because, so this is about Stefan Delka and Mira. And if you read the first 2 books in the series, Off to the Races and A Photo Finish, you'll be like, oh, Stefan Delka, I hate him. But he actually redeemed himself quite a bit in this book. Like, I will say, like, literally the first chapter, I was like, okay, yeah, he's a misunderstood king. Like, love him. And then he, like, fully redeemed himself with the other characters. Mira has always had a soft spot for Stefan Delka. Like, she's never actually hated him. It's only really Billy from the first book that's hated him, and then Violet sort of from the second book. So obviously we hated him because we were in their point of views. But in this one, I love him, okay? I also didn't think I would like this book because on the back of the book, the first time I ever read the back of the book, by the way, I read it and he calls her kitten, and I was like, ew, no. But then I was texting my friend because she had just read the book as well, and she was like, yeah, he doesn't call her that, like, that much, so it's, like, not even that noticeable. And I do agree. Did not call her kitten that much. Like, only, like, 3 times, I would say. And it's not, like, a big deal. Like, obviously I cringed while it was happening at the time, but then you immediately forget about it, so it's fine. But anyways, yeah. So Mira's obviously a vet, and Stefan Delka owns his own, like, racehorse ranch, I guess. His own ranch that has racehorses. Anyway, so he hires Mira to also be the vet, like, for his horses. She's, like, her main thing is being a vet for the Gold Rush Ranch, but she, like, obviously helps because she is sweet and she loves horses and she's not gonna let horses die. Anyways, this basically starts out because Stefan Delka always jokes around being like, go on a date with me, go on a date with me, and Mira always says no, but he never stopped. It's cute. And then it jumps to like, I think a year later or something like that, or a few months. 6 months. Basically, a horse on the Gold Rush Ranch died, I think. Like, so there's a baby horse that does not have a mom, and so the baby horse is gonna die because it needs the mom to survive. Well, it needs a mom to survive. And then at Stefan's ranch, a baby horse died while the mom was giving birth, and Mira was trying to like help with that, but was unsuccessful. Obviously, the baby died. Now, Mira had this brilliant idea. The baby horse needs a mom. The mom has just lost her baby. So, she's like, she goes to Stefan and she's like, do me a favor, I need this. Like, I need this baby to have this mom. And he was like, under a few conditions. So, the baby has to be transferred to his ranch, and Mira has to go on 3 dates with Stefan. And she agrees. And yeah, the rest is history, I guess. And then I read the novella that is in the series, which is called Out of the Gates. It's literally like 100 pages, so it's very quick, fast-paced. I read it just because I was like trying to get my reading goal. Like, I was behind on my reading goal, so I was like trying to get it. So I read the novella just because it's like so small, and I literally read it in like 2 hours. I rated it a 3-star, just because obviously it's a novella, so it's not going to be rated that highly, but also because of another reason. Okay, so this is about Dermot and I'm pretty sure Ada. Okay, so Dermot and Ada are the grandparents of Vaughn and Cole from the first 2 books. It was interesting to see like how they got together and started a family, obviously, and started literally the ranch, basically. I thought that was the parents. I feel like I'm going crazy. Let me know if it's the grandparents or the parents. I enjoyed the story for what it was, like obviously seeing how they got together and how this whole story basically started. The reason why I rated it a 3 instead of a 4 is because, so there's an age gap. It's like 10 years, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 10. He's 31, she's 21 now, but it basically started because she kissed him when she was 18, just before he was about to leave for the army, and shook up his world, and he was like, you shouldn't have done that, and then obviously left, and now he's back 3 years later and is about to help her father with the ranch again and stuff like that, and it's bringing back all these feelings for the both of them. But I did not enjoy the fact that Dermot kept mentioning their age gap, like kept being like the reason for them not getting together is because of their age gap. Like, he was making it weird, which was making it weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't weird until he kept saying things. Like, I'll say this a million times over. I don't care about an age gap, okay? My family has age gaps in there. Like, my grandparents are 10 years apart. It does not bother me, okay, whatsoever. What bothered me the most is that obviously Dermot knew her when she was very young. Like, he was working on this farm when he was like in his 20s, and she was obviously like 11, 10 years old, like 14, like young, right? In her tween years, okay? And which, not a problem that much. I mean, it's still a little weird. But the issue is that he kept being like turning her down because of that. He was like, I knew you were when you were a kid. Like, what are other people gonna think about this? You're making it weird by saying that. Just saying. And then he was like, I never had feelings for her until the day she kissed me when she turned 18 and blah, blah, blah. Like, we get it. You don't have to keep mentioning it. You know what I mean? So that was why it did not rate that highly, because he was making it weird and it was making me uncomfortable. So, but I did enjoy the story. I did. It was still cute. I just wish the age gap wasn't mentioned so much, and if it was mentioned, like, I wish it wasn't mentioned in the way that it was. Does that make sense? Okay, whatever. And then I read A False Start by Elsie Silver. It's the last book in the Gold Rush Ranch series, so I did complete the whole series this month.
Guys, I need help.
Anyways, I rated this a 4-star. I did thoroughly enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite in the series. My favorite would definitely be The Frontrunner, but I did enjoy it for what it was. This is about Nadia and Griffin, I think that's what his name is. Yeah, Griffin. Okay, so basically Nadia is Stefan Delka's little sister, and Griffin is Stefan Delka's best friend. And so it's kind of like a forbidden romance type of thing. I'm my brother's best friend. I loved it. This one is also an age gap. It's not as big. Or no, it's bigger. Sorry. They're 14 years apart. She's 21. He's 35. So it is a bigger age gap, but it wasn't as weird because, again, wasn't mentioning it so much. And when it was mentioned, it was only mentioned as, like, a teasing way where, like, she was like, okay, grandpa, or stuff like that. Like, it wasn't mentioned, like, in a weird way where it was like, oh, you were 10 when I was 21 or 24. Math ain't mathin' right now, okay? It's the morning. I really enjoyed this. So basically it starts out when Nadia just turned 19, like legal age in the bars in Canada, at least. If you guys are in the States, sorry, it's 21. Here it's 19. Starts in the bar, and she's making out with this boy named Tommy in the boys' bathroom and the bar. Okay, and then this mysterious man walks in, and he's just, like, all grumpy, and he's just, like, move, because they're on the sink, and Tommy just leaves, and Nadia's, like, rambling about how she didn't even want to be with Tommy, and blah, 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 and then she randomly just goes, kiss me, and the guy kisses her, and she's like, this is the best kiss of my life, and blah, 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 blah. And then it goes to, like, a few days later, and this mysterious man pops up at her place of work, which she works with Mira at the vet place. And it's Griffin, which is Stefan's best friend, and she's like, oh shit, and he's like, oh shit, that shouldn't have happened. She's making it her life goal to try to make him break and kiss her again, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't like, there was a lot of time jumps in this. Be prepared, I guess, because, like, there was a point where he was like, I'm just gonna avoid her, and then it jumped to, like, a month later, and then there was a point where they were together, but then, I mean, kind of, but then he was like, I need to get my shit together, and then they were kind of, like, separated for 6 months. So I did enjoy that part, though, that there wasn't technically a third act breakup. There was just, like, he was like, I need to, like, sort things out, and I need to get my shit together before I can be the person that you deserve and whatever. So, and she was like, I need to grow as a person as well, because she has past trauma and whatever, and she's like, I need to do this for myself. So she goes to school, and he's, you know, going to rehab and stuff like that for 6 months. So, and then they finally get together and stuff. I did enjoy that, instead of, like, them breaking up and then, like, literally, like, a few days later they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, that shouldn't have happened. They actually grew as people. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, this one was fun. Now, I read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Lori Gilmore. This is the second book in the Dream Harbor series. Now, I did read the other 3 in the series as well. Like, I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which is the first one, and then The Christmas Tree Farm, which is the third one, and then Strawberry Patch Pancake House, which is the fourth one. Obviously, I didn't read them this month. I've read them throughout the months, but yeah, so I technically completed this series for now. There's going to be another book coming out, I think, this month, but I've completed it for now, so woo! I'm really getting through these series, okay? I rated this a 4. I rated this a 4-star because I definitely enjoyed this more than the other 3 books in the series. This one's definitely my favorite one so far. Now, this is marketed as a fall book, but the setting is summer, so I don't know what that's about. Like, a lot of people have read it in the fall because obviously there's fall leaves and it's marketed as a fall book, but I read it obviously in August, so I thought it was the perfect time because it's not quite summer and it's not quite fall either. Like, it's colder, so it's giving fall a little bit, but it's still the summer. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, I thought it was perfect, but it is in the summer. This is about Hazel and Noah. Basically, Hazel works at the Cinnamon Bun bookstore, and one day she sees that a book's not where it's supposed to be. She grabs it, and one of the pages is dog-eared. So she goes to the page, and there's a sentence that's highlighted, and she's like, She's curious about it, obviously. And then Noah waltz in, and he's like, what are you doing? And she explains the situation, and he's like, oh, I'll help you with this. So they're trying to solve the mystery of who's ruining these books, but they're also going on these adventures that is highlighted in every single one of these books. So it's pretty cute. Okay, I love that premise about it. I also rated this higher than in all the other ones as well, because this one's less of an insta love. I mean, obviously it still is, but it's less, because the other 3 books, literally, they meet the person in the first chapter in like some way, and they're like, yeah, that's my future husband or my future wife. Like, what? This one, they've at least known each other for a year. Like, the first chapter isn't them meeting each other. The first chapter, obviously, they're like talking to each other, and they're like, yeah, like, I have feelings for this person, but like, they've known each other for a year. You know what I mean? And you also, like, you meet these 2 people in the first book, and you see them like grow to like each other and stuff like that in the first book, whereas the other ones, you've never met these people in your goddamn life until you start opening that book, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, I did enjoy it for what it was. I did listen to a majority of it. Nope, I listened to all of it. I'm lying. I was doing lots of listening this month. Well, whatever. I will be continuing the series, obviously. I only have 2 books left in that series. They're not out yet, but they will be out. But there's only 2 books left, so obviously I'm going to be completing the series. But it's not like a priority for me either. I've said this in my reading vlog as well. Like, these are books that you tend to gravitate towards if you need a palate cleanser. Like, if you're reading a lot of heavy fantasy or dark romances or thrillers, and you just want something cute and fluffy that is a palate cleanser, like, you literally don't have to think about it that much. Or if you really just want to listen to something on Audible or Spotify, they're great books to listen to, because you do not need to know every single piece of information to know what's going on. Alright, anyways, moving on to the last book that I've read this month. I literally completed this on the 31st. Was there a 31st? So I read God of Ruin by Rena Kent. This is the 4th book in the Legacy of God series, so I only have 2 left. I very much enjoyed this because... So Mia does not speak. She does sign language because of something that happened in the past, so she just completely stopped talking. And Landon really helps her come out of her shell, and she actually ends up talking by the end of it because of him, and I'm very happy about it. And then Landon is very much a type of person that does not process emotions like the rest of us, and he's just crazy, and Mia helps him with that and helps him like be chill, you know, and it's kind of cute that they both balance each other out. I loved that. And I will say that I did not enjoy Landon in the other books. The first 3 books, Landon was insufferable. I was literally like, I don't like this character. But he actually, like, his book, I actually enjoyed it. Like, he was definitely different in here than he was in the other 3 books, so I'm very happy about that. I don't know what else to say. Because I was reading these in a vlog, obviously, so. I've been talking about these books for almost an hour. That is absolutely insane. These were the 9.5 books that I ended up reading in the month of August. I'm actually pretty surprised with how many books I read this month. I thought I was actually so behind on my reading this month because, like, so my friend kept texting me being like, oh yeah, I finished this and now I'm reading this. And I was just being like, what the hell? Like, I felt like so behind because I was like not reading. I felt like I wasn't reading that much, but I actually ended up reading a lot. But anyways, so I'm kind of like happy with myself and proud of myself. So yeah, anyways, these are the 9.5 books that I read in the month of August. Please let me know what you guys read in the month of August, or if you read any of these. Even if it wasn't in August, I would like to know what you rated them and what you thought of them. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace!